Hey, and good evening, and welcome to the Monday Night Jam. Tonight, I have a very special guest with me. We were just having the grandest chat in the green room. I've known this guest probably majority of my life. The small street I grew up on in Sydney. Her grandparents lived three houses up from me, and she would often hang out at her grandparents' place, and I would play with her and her brother. And we grew up for many many years together until she packed up, left the island, and headed out to Ontario. But we are glad to have her back here on the island. She is becoming one very well developed, well rounded singer songwriter here on the island. She's got some incredible pipes that just harmonize so well with what she does. She was actually playing a cover in the green room as her sound check, and I was like, man, I hear that song on the radio, and I absolutely hate the artist's voice, but you just made me like that song even more. So I'm really excited to bring her to the show tonight. So without further ado, let me bring to the Monday Night Jams her first, like, her show. This is all about her tonight. She's been partnered up with her beau and jumping on shows with him, but tonight it's all about her herself. So let me welcome to you, Molly Babbin.
Hi,
Hey,
how are you?
I'm just awesome. I'm so excited to have you here. Like I said, in
Thanks
the
for having me.
yeah. Actually, I posted on the page a few weeks ago, like, who do you want to hear on the show? And the first person commented Molly Babbin. That was
Oh,
like
that's
the
amazing.
immediate, yeah. So
I
it's
think
good. You
that
got
was
your
Destiny DeVoe, wasn't it?
oh, probably.
I know, what a great girl.
Oh yeah,
I love her so much.
her and Dylan are absolute amazing people.
Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely
they're
amazing
so
people. I
cool.
love the two of them. I love chatting with the two of them. Actually, I went to the Take a Knee to Make a Stand rally the other night, and I met up with them, and that's who I slowly marched that way with, and then disappeared as I did my camera thing. But
I saw
met up
your
with them a few
photos. You did
times.
a great job.
Yeah, it was a phenomenal event to be a part of.
It really was.
Yeah, I was asked by a few people to make sure I was there, and I was going to be there anyway, so I may as well just take pictures while I'm at it. And
Yeah.
it's close to home for me. I have, African Canadian families, and my nieces and nephew are black, so I don't want them to grow up and have to see any of that stuff anymore. Right? There's no need of it going on. And like
It
I
was amazing to see how many people were there. It
yeah,
was
like they were
incredible.
anticipating like 500, but I'm saying there was way more than 500
I would
there.
say like triple that.
If you were there, you could tell, like, they were lined up from the far side of the police station all over the little infield on the side, down Grand Lake Road. Like, Jesus, they had to shut Grand Lake Road down for a while. So that's if you can shut Grand Lake Road down, you got something going on.
We were in the Mayflower Mall parking lot for like 30 minutes trying to get out of there. So there was a lot of people.
Oh yeah, there was. It was
Yeah.
worse than an Eagles game.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, like I said in the introduction, you packed up, you left the island, you headed westward and got stuck in the central.
Yeah.
You hung out in Ontario for a while.
Yeah, we moved around quite a bit actually. Like I went to school at Mount Allison in New Brunswick. And my parents, like my dad was a steel worker, so they moved quite a bit. They were in Charlottetown, PEI, Goose Bay, Labrador. And then my dad went out west. My mom went with him to Fort McMurray. And then eventually she went to Woodstock, Ontario, and he finished the last few years working. And then they moved to Woodstock. And my brother was in Ontario, and I was in Hamilton, so we were kind of just all spread out.
Yeah, yeah. And like I said in the introduction, like we more or less grew up together. Like, your grandparents were only a couple houses up. I remember you being there more than most of the kids that I actually lived on the street. Like,
Yeah, we
we go a
loved
few
going
years
there.
back.
Yeah, yeah, I know. It's so crazy. I remember the first time we were like big enough to walk to the end of the street and take the shortcut through your house to King's Road.
Yeah.
And I remember just being like, wow, we really made it, you know?
Yeah. Cut
We're
down
like,
down through
yeah,
the hospital and through the parking lot.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's so funny.
Or you
I
cut through
look up
the
there fondly all the time. Did you see there's an armchair, two armchairs in this bus stop, right? We were
Yes,
talking
yes,
about
you
it.
sent me the picture.
And
Yeah.
you can see your house from those armchairs, which
Oh
is
yeah.
so funny.
Yeah, it's well, now the hospital's gone, it's a little bit easier to see in back there, but it's
Yeah.
every time I see a picture, I'm like, can I see my house? Can I see my house? Like, it's still my house. It's still my mom still lives there. And and I think until the end of time, as long as any of my family members there, your family's place will always be the Babbin's house. Like,
Totally.
it's everybody on the house that has changed or on the street story has changed three, four times now. but it's still, oh, that's the McFarlands and that's the Leslies and right,
Yeah.
right. They're all still the same homes. That's who, and the people that lived there were there forever, right? I still remember vaguely your grandparents. I remember, oh geez, I couldn't even tell you what age we were, but I remember you guys doing tie dye with like
Uh,
berries and stuff that you
yeah.
said found. In the little garage on the picnic table. I remember that very vividly.
That's
That was,
amazing.
yeah, it
Yeah,
was
they were
cool.
really cool people. They're French, right? Like they're from Yarmouth and Metagan.
Yeah.
And they were very like farmer kind of like everything I know about like kind of living off the land was from them. Like my grandfather hunted, my grandmother baked like the most delicious bread. You know, they
And they
were.
had a little garden in the back.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
got my
remember.
first bee sting off a strawberry plant back there.
It's crazy though. Like I remember coming across you on Instagram a few years ago, and I was like, "There's no way there's more than one Molly Babbin."
No, there's not.
Yeah. So I messaged you, and I was like, "Hey, what's the chances your grandparents lived on Thomas Street in Sydney?"
He's
And
like,
off
yeah,
we went. Yeah, we
that's
started
for sure.
chatting.
It's me.
Yeah,
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 there's not a lot of Babbins. Like I remember the phone book, right? But there
yeah,
was only like my dad's family, really.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. So I'm glad you came back to Cape Breton, and I've been noticing you came back and you were, I knew you were here, and I knew you were working at the Triangle for a little while, and then next thing you know, I started seeing Molly Babbin's playing here and Molly Babbin's playing there, and your name starts fluttering around a little bit more, and like you're becoming quite the little singer songwriter around the
Oh, well,
town,
thank you.
which is good. And you have a phenomenal voice, and I'm really glad to see
Thanks.
that you're actually getting out there and doing it.
Yeah, like I've been playing, like I took lessons from at Take Note Music School. Like my parents put us in music when we were like 3 or 4, right? And like I started playing piano when I was 5, and like I went to classical music school in New Brunswick. Like I've been playing my whole life, but it's very hard to take yourself seriously as a singer-songwriter and as an artist. And I think honestly, like just traveling around. Like I played shows in Hamilton, I played shows in New Brunswick, and just being home, it really just ignited this confidence in me, seeing peers playing the same kind of music that I play and that I like. It's just like I just when I came home, I really found like I'd found my people. It's
Hmm.
like why did it not occur to me to check in the place that I was born and raised?
Yeah, and I've
But
said it on the show before, like, Cape Breton's very humbling when it comes to musicians. Like everybody supports one another.
yeah.
It doesn't matter how big you've made it or how low key you are, everybody can lean on one another and give that moral support. Actually, I think me and Wayne Badecki spoke about that last week.
Yeah, and you know what's funny? He mentioned like Dwayne Nardocchio and Nigel Kearns at CB Mike, right? And like that we did a program called Level Up where they took a bunch of musicians on a bus to Nova Scotia Music Week
Yep.
and rented out Julia's Lounge, and we just played 3 nights in a row. But like that first show that I played that night, like I was shaking, I was nervous. Like I've come so far from that opportunity that I got from them, like they're forever supporting every musician there is. And yeah, it's just it's priceless,
Yeah, they're
really.
two incredibly well-rounded, well-versed guys in the music industry,
And they're
but
so excitable.
yeah, you know what? I get a kick out of Nigel every time I see him, right? It's always like, hey, man, like he's always so excited to see you. No matter what, he's always just thrilled, right? It
Have you
could
ever
be
heard of a bass player neck? Like most
yeah,
bass players do. Like I
yeah,
think Nigel should play the bass, so
yeah,
we should work on
yeah.
that.
That's right. We got Matt Noakes on there saying the shipyard's really, really in the house right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. There's another shipyarder all up in here.
So funny. I was at the Triangle and I met up with him again. He's like, "Is your name Molly Babbin?" I was like, "Oh God, I don't know who's asking."
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, Kent Street, I believe. Noakes. Yeah, am I right on that one there,
He
Noakes?
lived at the bottom of my street.
Right at the bottom of your street?
Yeah, bottom of my street.
Yeah. I think I knew it was Kent Gritton. Like I knew he was in that
Yeah,
area there. But yeah, yeah, all kinds
yeah,
of shipyard represent tonight. We got the
yeah.
trifecta right now going on.
That's
So yeah,
awesome.
Argyle. Yeah, okay, Noakes. All right, all right.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
gonna have Noakes shout no comments all night now. So yeah, the reason I bring you to the show though is so that I can show you off. That's the whole point of the Monday Night Jam, bringing
That-
people on here so people can learn who you are and see what you got.
that's my cue, is it?
Yeah, that's your cue. Let's get you on the guitar. Let's get you on the big screen so I can start sharing this around so we get you even more attention. And well, I've sat here praising about how good you are and how well developed you are. So let's everybody that's tuned in right now, let's give them a taste of how
No
you sound.
pressure.
No pressure at all, at all. It's like you're back at that first Music Week show all over again.
Yeah, whew, deep
And
breath.
this is your first Molly Babbin show, so
Yeah, it's so cool to be online. It's crazy. Like I'm just in the comfort. I'm not even wearing shoes. It's
well,
great.
yeah. I'm
Yeah.
nor am I. All right, Molly, the floor is all yours.
Awesome. Thanks. You think I like to move down to the beach, leave this town and all my silly dreams. I thought I'd find a place to be free, but what I found had worn me down. No corners left to see. There's things I would and things I would not change. Time will tell all the things I cannot say. Only I know what I have done. Will I go to hell? I cannot tell, and I'm not the only one. Leave, girl, run and hide. Don't look back for all the time. There's nothing left. There's nothing left. Nothing left for you, girl. There's nothing left for you. I can't think when the tension is so thick. Life is nothing more than stones and sticks. The windmill turns to harvest the breeze, and time takes hold of me till there's nothing left to be. Leave, girl, run and hide. Don't look back for all of time. There's nothing left. There's nothing left. Nothing left for you, girl. There's nothing left for you. Tie me down to the river. Tie me down to the sea. Tie me down, tie me down, tie me down to me.
Incredible. Absolutely
Thank you.
incredible. Yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
you've been working on your voice for a little bit. Like
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it's good though. But
Been singing a
you've
lot.
yeah. It's good that you're ran and like you said in the green room, you know, you got your guitar there, you got your piano all ready to come on tonight. Like we're going to get all kinds of entertainment out of you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, which is awesome. I'm excited. Like, I think you're the first person to jump on a piano on the Monday Night Jam. It's usually just
Yeah.
guitars. So,
Yeah, it's funny, like, I don't know, like, you either play the piano or you play the guitar. Like, often you don't switch back and forth. Because yeah, like, you put a lot of people play the piano like a guitar player. Um, so when you do go back and forth, it kind of is a little more seamless. But like when you're strictly piano, like it's such a different thing. Like when I
mhm.
play my piano sets, it's just different, you know?
Yeah, I know Andre Petitpas is learning more piano now too, right? And
Yeah.
playing the keyboard for some of his
He's wicked,
songs.
eh?
Oh man, he's phenomenal. He's
It's so
absolutely
cool.
phenomenal. Yeah. Yeah, no, he's a super cool guy. I'm glad Mitch Cusner pointed him out to me. I don't know if you know Mitch. He's another live event
Yeah,
photographer.
he's a
Yeah,
photographer, right?
yeah,
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 cool. I
super
don't know
super
him, but
killer guy. I just messaged him on a cuff off the cuff one day and just said, "Man, like, listen, I had somebody back out. I need, like, who can I get?" He's like, "Oh, Andre Petitpas. Like, trust me, it'll be well worth it." So
yeah.
he didn't disappoint.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, he's good. Their whole band is good. Andre Petitpas and the Giants, plus their
I think they have a song arranged by Max Kerman and the Arkells, right?
I believe so.
I think so on this new record. I watched the live show where he did the new record like front to back,
Yeah,
and yeah, I think one is arranged by, but like the Arkells live in the area where I've been living in Hamilton.
yeah,
They're awesome guys, but
yeah.
yeah,
They
just
kind of have a similar sound to them too, right?
they do, yeah, and like yeah, just they're definitely into the theory side of the music. Like the Arkells have been doing like lessons this whole time,
Yeah,
where you can like log on and learn their songs with Max or whatever. But
which is cool.
yeah, super cool, and like yeah, awesome that they're like reaching out to the East Coast and like helping out with stuff like that. You know?
Yeah, yeah. No, that's absolutely phenomenal. Wayne Badecki says that you absolutely sound great. So
Ah, thanks.
yes, yeah,
Yeah, I did a split video with Wayne. We had so much fun.
yeah. You actually, I think you were one of the first people I seen started doing the split video thing.
Yeah,
You kind of kicked
yeah, I
the
jumped right on
yeah,
it.
yeah. Well, first you started doing some of them just you by yourself
Yeah.
with your piano and your guitar, and like it was cool to see it arranged like that. And then you started jumping in and having other guests come in and doing
Yeah, I
tunes
did
with you.
15.
Yeah, I know you did one with Dwayne.
Yep.
Uh,
Oh wow, here we go.
uh,
I did Dylan DeVoe,
yeah,
Richard Schaller, uh, Aaron Lewis, um, Angela McDonald, Dwayne, um, oh man, Jacob Noonan. I made a list of all of them and it's on
yeah,
the other side of the room, but yeah, 15. It was awesome. And like I didn't pick the songs. I just said like pick your song, send me the video and then I'll add it after. So it was pretty great when we first got in quarantine and it was like just really took up my day. Like I would get the video in the morning, I would learn the song in the afternoon and then I'd record it at night and then the next day do it to the next video and it really
yeah,
got me learning and especially songs that like yeah, we did Strolling Through Heaven, me and Aaron Lewis, and I'd never heard that song. It's an Alan Jackson song.
yeah.
It's like pretty religious song, gospel kind of gospel country. But yeah, it was like my new favorite song for a while. You know, it was awesome just to kind of like learn some new things.
Which is cool. Yeah, it expands your vocabulary with music. Like
Oh
you,
yeah, like I can't wait to do a show again. My set's like 90 songs long now.
which is good. It gives you a little bit more something. It's hard to play a crowd sometimes.
Yeah, and sometimes it's hard picking covers and stuff. Like I wrote 5 songs during this, but like yeah, it's hard picking covers that are just a little bit outside of what you're comfortable sounding like because really
Yeah,
that's how you grow as a musician. You know, you learn a bunch of different stuff and try and make them sound like you, but try and make them sound a little bit different and yeah, just push yourself.
yeah. Like we were talking about how you did that cover in the green room for sound check,
Yeah.
right? Like it's a Taylor Swift song. I'll let everybody know now. It's a Taylor Swift song, and Molly makes it sound better
My
than
song.
Taylor Swift sings it. I have no problem with Taylor Swift, but I have a problem with Taylor Swift singing that song.
I'm sure she's not listening.
Well, I'm sure she's not either, but maybe, just maybe,
Just maybe.
maybe if I say something mean enough about her, she might write a bad
She'll
song
get
about me.
back to her.
I'll
Yeah.
have a song written about me next.
Yeah. That's
So
awesome.
yeah, you want to keep entertaining our folks here, and
Yeah.
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 So anybody that's just tuning in, this is Molly Babbin. She is a cabaret singer songwriter, and my whole mission tonight is to get her a few more likes on her Facebook page, which I'm going to share in the comments in a moment, so you can keep following her and see where she's going to pop up now that we're slowly getting back into an era where music will be live again.
Yes.
I know we have a long way to go yet, but it is a lot closer now than it has been.
If we can teach everyone
Excuse
not
me.
to yell into each other's ears while the band is playing, then I think we'll get there faster.
Oh
But
man, that you're asking too much, I think.
yeah, it's just like people will get closer and closer as you
Yeah.
play more, you know? So
It's more fun when you're screaming at your buddy 5 feet away from the person with the microphone that is meant to amplify sound. It's a way better atmosphere.
yeah.
Way better atmosphere. But yeah, no. Anybody that's just tuning in, if you don't mind, just giving us a click and share this stream so that we can get a few more viewers on here watching Molly and her beautiful talent that she has here for us tonight. With that, though, Molly, feel free to play us a tune.
Cool. Thanks. Raise the stakes in the yard. You and I can get real far. The rubber band and the nail. Shelter from the rain, a river to launder stains. My carpenter's fairy tale. This town has seen a change in us. The way we go on with our foolishness. Open windows, open doors. Understand what we're working for. Making do with you. Old things made new. Keep your head above the water. And the wolf from the door. Do you remember all you bought her? Do you remember what for? Do you remember what all that was for? Out on our quest, I'll make two lefts and you two right. Back to where we started, open from broken hearted. Back here every night. This town has seen a change in us. The way we go on with our foolishness. Open windows, open doors. Understand what we're working for. Making do with you. Old things made new. Keep your head above the water. And the wolf from the door. Do you remember all you bought her? Do you remember what for? Do you remember what all that was for? I asked my mother how they raised me, how they managed all they gave me. Struggling's more common than gaining. I wanna do more than I can, go back to where it began. I wanna do no explaining. This town has seen a change in us. The way we go on with our foolishness. Open windows, open doors. Understand what we're working for. Making do with you. Old things made new. Keep your head above the water. And the wolf from the door. Do you remember all you bought her? Do you remember what what for? Do you remember what all that was for?
Oh my goodness, my mic is stuck. I'm trying to get back onto here and I keep hitting unmute and it won't unmute. Now here it is. It's good. We're back. We're back. We're back. It's working now. No, another great song from you.
Thanks.
It's great. And you were saying before too, you took the whole COVID thing and you wrote 5 new tunes.
Yeah. Yeah, I worked on a couple of projects. Like I did the split videos and I was just kind of going until I ran out of musicians and ran out of the motivation, I guess. So yeah, I did 15 of those, and then after that, I did a project called Conceptualize Covers, and I took 5 Hank Williams songs and kind of strung
Yeah.
them together to tell a story.
I was
And I
watching one
did
of those
like,
today, yeah.
yeah, that was really fun. It was just like I wore all my vintage dresses, and I set myself up, and I did a guitar song and a piano song, and then a couple of splits, and I even got the fiddle out for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
you're really getting into it.
then I was like, I need to write some songs. Like there was just so much going on, and like so much loss. It's just crazy. Like so much loss. But yeah, so I just kind of sat down and reflected on that, and the songs aren't all sad. Because yeah, like you lose things and you remember fondly. You
Yeah, I
don't.
seen one about your grandfather. Was it your grandfather's memoirs?
Yeah, I was reading my grandfather's book, and yeah, he grew up in Bay St. Lawrence, like way up by Meat Cove kind of thing,
Yeah.
and yeah, his mother left him and his sister to be raised by their grandparents, and no one knows the story. Like I just think it's so crazy. It's like no one just everyone kept the secret. It's like
Yeah.
in these small communities, those secrets of babies and unwed mothers, and it was like these religious beliefs that she had done something very wrong and that no one could find out or she would be shamed. It's like
Yeah.
did a lot of research and read into kind of the houses. You know what the maternity homes they were called, where they would like send the women to have the babies in secret, like they were told to use a fake name kind of thing, and babies would be taken and they were sent back home. But do you know on Bing Avenue, that big house on the corner with the chain link fence, that was a maternity home.
Yeah, that's is it Elizabeth Fry now?
Yeah.
It's the women's shelter.
Yes. And
Yeah.
before that, it was not that.
Yeah, it was
you know
completely opposite of that.
Up
Yeah.
until the 70s. Isn't that crazy? 1976, they were still hiding women who didn't have a spouse. It's so crazy. It's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
The good
yeah,
old days.
yeah, right? Oh my God. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah,
I
no,
mean,
that
you
is
got
that's
to keep smiling, but this idea of a cultural norm, and it really just spans across all kinds of things that are happening right now, obviously. But yeah, the cultural norm, it's like, yeah,
well
enough
think like
people say it's that way and it's that way, it's ridiculous.
well like you said, until the 70s that was still going on and like where we grew up, we grew up pretty close to member two. So like we're very and I was talking to Jeff Ward about this the other night, like member two was literally we could spit on it. It was so close to where I grew up, and you were a little bit further down, but you were still pretty close to member two, right? I was reading an article where you're talking about how like that was going on till the 70s. I read an article the other day that like residential schools in Canada were still going in 1996.
Like, that's insane.
Like, can you imagine? Like,
No, I
that's
can't.
that's not even 30 years. Like, that's in our lifetime. There was still residential schools in Canada
And
for
well into
natives.
our lifetime.
Yeah,
Like people our age.
yeah. What
Yeah.
that's mind blowing that those kind of things still happen. It's
Well, it's mind blowing that it happened at all. I think that's what I was really like, really shook by reading about all this stuff. Like I just don't understand.
it's
Anyway, yeah.
the world we live in is absolutely crazy. This whole George Floyd thing is way uh, it's mind blowing. That the violence is there against race anyways, but to go to that level and take a man's life for over $20, like It's just it's absolutely insane that we, your grandparents, they grew up with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Segregation and geez, some people still own slaves back in the 30s and 40s. So it's crazy that we're still not that far, that these things still aren't
Oh,
done.
it's crazy. I
Yeah.
definitely use this time to do some educating, because I'm no expert on any kind of topic or even in an understanding, right? So I watched, it's called 13th. It's a documentary on Netflix. Definitely recommend watching, but it's about the prison boom in the States. And it's, yeah, it's insane. It's just an extension of slavery. It just continued, you know? It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, like Lululemon was still manufacturing all their products in prisons 5 years ago. Like
Yeah.
it's absolutely insane.
Well, it's anything like there's still child labor in third world countries. There's still kids starving. There's still people dying at home just because of the color of their skin. Like that, it's absolutely crazy. With like I said, our grandparents and have been around to see it, and we were talking about the Take a Knee rally the other night. I don't know if you've seen it. I shared it on my Instagram and on my photo page on Facebook. But there was one little old lady that stood in the middle of the crowd, and literally in the middle, and she had her little tam on and her winter coat and her gloves, and she didn't budge the entire time, and she stood there with her fist up, and she took a knee with everybody else.
Wow,
And I actually had her family reach out to me. She turns 81 in 2 weeks.
that's amazing.
So I was like, she's one of the historians for the Whitney Pierce Society. So it was just, to me, seeing her there was empowering to say, like, she's still not going to put up with shit. She's old and has been through this forever, and she's still not budging. But at the same time, it's like, how long has she been doing this?
Yeah.
Right. So
Well, and
it,
like that's just it. It's the ability to let go of old ideas, right? Which is like what these little societal norms that kind of hang out there and we don't talk about them. Like it's the ability to realize they're wrong and let them go.
yeah,
And I think we're really getting there, but
yeah,
it
it's,
definitely it's gonna take some work
oh,
and
it's going
some
to take a lot more
challenge.
work and a lot more education. I
Yes.
I I shared it's my favorite Dennis Leary quote that I've had for years and years and years, and it's like, kids don't hate other races. My kid's two, and he hates naps. Like, you teach someone to hate someone for no reason. So
Yeah.
that's the big thing, is that people have to start educating others not to do this.
Yeah.
Start it at a young age, right? Like, don't teach a kid that it's okay to hate another person.
Yeah. Yeah. It's mind blowing.
Yeah. It's great. Like, my daughter's 6, she's going into grade 1, and she has like Filipinos and African Canadians, and she has East Indian. Like, she's got so much culture in her little grade primary class now. And I'm just like, I'm so happy to see that, because she's going to grow up with them and not know anything different.
Hmm.
Where we grew up, we had, the member to First Nation, and that was it. We didn't have any other real culture where we lived up in the shipyard area. It was a little bit different for us
Yeah.
compared to other parts of the town.
Yeah. Think about all the cool stuff she'll learn
Yeah,
and all
exactly.
the
And that's,
great food she'll eat.
yeah, well, and they've done that. Like, they've had, heritage days in her class and teaching about where these other kids come from. Like, yeah, okay, this little boy can't speak as well, but that's because he comes from this part of the world, and then they'd educate the kids on that. And I'm like, that's great that like a 6-year old fresh little mind is being molded with that stuff. So hopefully there is hope to get past all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So back to the COVID rights that we started off on this
Oh
ramble and
yeah,
rant.
yeah, yeah. And then yeah, I
Yep.
just did 5 songs. I spent 2 weeks and just kind of sat at my laptop and wrote. Um, I'm definitely like a copy and paste type process. Just like write and write and write, and then kind of piece everything together and throw some chords in and see where I get. So
Yeah.
I just kind of spent a couple days doing that, and I got quite a few songs. I don't know. I find it helps when you have some things to say. So I just kind of had got to that point and then let it all out. So
Yeah. Do you
yeah, so
have do you have one of those COVID songs?
yeah, I'll play the one for my grandfather.
Absolutely. I'd love to hear it live on the show. So again, folks, this is Molly Babbin live here from Cape Breton, Nova Scotia in Canada, live on the Monday Night Jam. Molly, shall yours.
She met him in the mountains in the village by the bay. Strong and soft stone can be battered by the waves. Too quick a baby came to her. No, love is guaranteed. It's not the way your daddy prayed it be. Mary, Mary Margaret, that secret born in pride and sorrow. They say she loved you, her love was deep, a secret born she couldn't keep. The final words were said by her father. You're not yet a woman, you're barely a mother. He promised he would love you, he swore he wouldn't leave. Go find a better life for you, the secret safe with me. Mary, Mary Margaret, a secret born in pride and sorrow. They say she loved you, her love was deep, a secret born she couldn't keep. Many moons went overhead and her father grew unwell. Even lying on his dying bed, a lie he swore he'd tell. They laid him in the mountains in the village by the bay, buried with his secret, lying in his grave. Mary, Mary Margaret, a secret born in pride and sorrow. They say she loved you, her love was deep, a secret born she couldn't keep, a secret born she couldn't keep.
What a beautiful, very well written song about something so meaningful, right? Like you
Thank
said,
you.
it's your grandfather's book. It's very close to the heart. You know, again, it's about your grandfather, so it was cool that you could take his story and put it into words your
Yeah,
own way.
it was awesome to have like some family members reach out and just like, yeah, like what happened there, you know? Like just like my like the woman Mary Margaret would be my grandfather's sister, but her granddaughter, which is I don't know what makes her my third cousin or something, but we always said like how did nobody ask questions about like why she left? Like the story was that she needed to go to find work, but like she just never came back. Her kids were like 7. She lived in Boston, and my grandfather never met his mother until he was like 50 years old. And it's so mind blowing to be raised by your grandpa, like his actual grandparents, her parents, and like she never came back. So it's so mind blowing to me. But yeah, I truly believe it was just built in that shame, like she could never come back to the little village and, like
Well, exactly, right?
her illegitimate children or
It's
whatever.
bad enough coming back to Cape Breton, but coming back to a small village on Cape Breton,
Yeah. Well, and it's bad enough coming back when you got too drunk at a party or something, but when the whole city's looking at you like you did something really awful,
yeah.
like yeah, it would be hard to come back.
Yeah, it was forbidden.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
forbidden. The
exactly.
church forbid it.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, it's great that your family must love it too that you were able to take your grandfather's story and
yeah,
turn it into something like that.
yeah. It's awesome. I'm working on another project. I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna keep doing kind of 5 videos, and then I upload them to like my YouTube account, just make playlists of like the 5 videos. So I was going through old home videos, which is funny because maybe your house is on there on Tapestry, but um, there's a video of me singing. If I were a blackbird, I'd whistle and sing. And I'm like 5 years old. But my grandfather taught me all kinds of songs. And so I was like kind of looking into them and like this song called Nightingale. And it's like about this couple that are down by the river and they look like they're having such a wonderful time. And then when the woman says, like, will you ever marry me? He's like, no, I got a wife back in Germany. It's so funny. These stories and these songs that my grandfather like thought it appropriate to teach a 5 year old, there's like the moonshiner. I've been a moonshiner for many a year, and I spent all my money on whiskey and beer. Like I think he probably just thought it was funny to see this cute little girl sing these songs. So
Yeah.
now that I'm older, I think I'm gonna do the 5 songs that my grandfather taught me. But it's been neat, like looking into them. Just like he was super into these old Irish folk songs, but they've been done by like Bob Dylan and Joan Baez and like that era, right? Like they were all about like that, like pre kind of like Woody Guthrie, those folk songs, so heavily influenced by Irish folk songs. And so like that's Cape Retners in the 70s and 80s, like that's even still, it's like you go to a party and that's for sure getting played at some point,
Oh, 100%.
yeah. So it's cool just like listening to these songs and just like really understanding like where my influence came from, and like just listening to the Bob Dylan versions, and they're like on his deep cuts or whatever, like never really released. But yeah, it's neat to see like how many different ways one single song can be taken, and especially when like some of them are like 300 years old, like they've been around for a long time.
Yep. No, it's cool. Like you said, you keep going back to your grandfather there. He was very influential in what you do and where you
Oh,
are
he was
right
a
now.
singer, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember, yeah.
Yeah, couple of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's cool. It's cool that you get to carry that on too, right? You're carrying on his legacy by singing songs about him and songs that he's passed on to you, and it keep
Yeah.
carrying on, right? So that's
Yeah,
really
it's
cool.
awesome way to remember these people that meant so much to you.
Yeah.
Especially like he passed when I was like 12 or 13, but like my childhood was so like my parents kept us really close to our grandparents, and like
Yeah.
going to visit mine that lived near you, and we had some in Waterford. That's the one that taught me all the songs, but every weekend we were visiting them, and yeah, it's like it's really nice to be taken back there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's
So cool.
awesome. It's absolutely awesome. And also, you were talking about your newly written tunes. You also have a tune with your beau, Mr.
Yeah.
Danny
Yeah,
McNeil.
he's releasing a single on June 18th. It's called 10 Hour Day. But we recorded with Michael S. Ryan from the Town Heroes.
Yeah.
He was living really close to Danny, and Danny was in Black Point, in Nova Scotia, and Michael was just kind of 20 minutes away. So they got together, they worked out some kind of work trade. So we got a couple of songs recorded before all this happened. But it was awesome. It was a super awesome experience. He's got this old kind of boomy piano, and when we showed up, he was like, "I don't know if you're gonna want to play it," but as soon as I kind of sat down, he was like, "Oh yeah, no, we're gonna play it
Yeah.
now." So
Yeah.
yeah, it's cool.
Mike's a hell of a guy.
Yeah, he's
Absolute.
wicked.
Yeah.
So Danny's gonna be playing. He's announcing the show tomorrow, where his kind of release show will be. So stay tuned for his stuff for that. I'm really excited.
Yeah. Yeah. I know
Yeah.
Danny's been plugging away as the singing songwriting for a long time.
Oh
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing living with another songwriter. It's really cool.
Yeah. It's got to help.
Yeah, it does. Especially when you like say things and then he's like, "Whoa, like you should write that down." It's like just
Yeah.
like when you're going and you don't even think about like, "Oh, that would make a really great song," or like, "Wow, that was like pretty poetic lyric." But really I'm just kind of ranting about the lady next door, you know.
Yeah, no, Danny's been on the, I guess you could say, folk scene for quite a long time. He doesn't know how to play Copperhead Road though.
No, he doesn't. Don't request it. He
Well,
doesn't
don't
know.
request it. Don't request that song. If you ever see Danny McNeil play, do not request Copperhead Road. He does not know it, and he will not play it.
It's
But
funny,
no,
like I lived in Sydney my whole life, and Danny was always around. Like we were talking about it today. Like I wonder how many shows we'd been at to get. Like I didn't know him growing up, so it's funny. Just like I wonder how many places we were in at the same time, just never knowing.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
No,
funny.
it's funny, and like I knew who Danny was through a mutual friend that lived with Danny in Alberta.
Oh,
That's how
cool.
I knew who Danny was, and just kind of strung him along and met him along the lines a few times at Govs and whatnot. So that's how I got to know Danny.
Right on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good
he's a
old
pretty good guy.
yeah, good old Cape Breton. You can't get
Yeah.
away from anybody around here.
No, I know, right? I know. It's like even like hanging out with his parents or whatever. It's like, okay, who do we know that you know that I
Yeah,
know? Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I'm good stock, I swear.
yeah. They say like the 7 degrees of separation. I'm like, you can't do that in Cape Breton
It's
because
literally one.
it's 1 degree. Like,
It's
yeah,
literally one.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
It
so
doesn't happen like
crazy.
that here. I love the expression when people are like, "It's a small world." I'm like, no, it is a small island.
That's exactly what I say. It's a
Yeah, it's
small
a
island.
small island.
Yeah, it's not like this everywhere else in the world,
Yeah, no,
except sometimes you're walking down a busy street in Toronto and there's a guy with a Cape Breton flag as a cape. you
yeah.
know,
You're like, oh hey,
they pop up all over the
yeah.
place. It's
What's your
so
father's
crazy.
name? I.
yeah, yeah. And everybody's like, oh wow, this actually does happen.
Oh yeah, yeah. It does. Yeah, we tend to stick together.
yeah.
It does happen. Yeah. So you played a few guitar tunes. You got another guitar tune, or are you
Yeah, I
gonna?
think I'll play one more, and then maybe
And
I'll play
then,
your little cover for you.
all right, that sounds good to me. All right,
cool.
here's another Molly Babbin tune. Give us a share. Share the Monday Night Jam post right now live on Ripple Effects, so we get this pretty lady's face around a little bit more, and everybody can hear her sing her beautiful songs. Molly.
I heard you're doing well. I didn't need to hear it, I could tell. I don't know why I'm nervous, 'cause we used to know each other well. Your parents didn't know what we could do with patio lanterns and kitchen stools. Tell me those stories again, the ones I tell my friends, when we were a band. That hollow body from Mercantile held my pain and joy, I hope to reconcile. Never went unplayed and never stayed in tune. Writing songs I show you in my room. Your parents didn't know what we could do with tall cans and an afternoon. Tell me those stories again, the ones I tell my friends, when we were a band. It happened more often than not, standing around the parking lot, pennies left for gas, but we were never in it for the cash. And your parents didn't know what we could the cluttered basement that had no room. Tell me those stories again, the ones I tell my friends when we were a band. When we were a band.
Awesome. Awesome. I love it. Hey, Elise. Hello, Elise.
Elise, Elise,
Elise
darling
Aaron.
girl. Yeah, she's so cool.
Yeah.
I was watching her garage show earlier.
She's my Monday night warm up. Like before I do the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every Monday
Right?
night before I do the show, I put Elise on and I put my phone in my back pocket and I go around setting up all my equipment and do everything while Elise sings
That's
along.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
I love that she does like these like kind of themey things and like it just seems like she's just learning every song ever written. It's amazing.
Yeah. No,
She's
she's
working
great.
really hard. It's
Yeah,
so
she's
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
She was a bridesmaid at a wedding I DJ'd last year. That's how I initially met her, but
Oh
didn't know
wow.
it was her until we discussed. We had a little chat one night, and I was like, "You look super familiar."
You know what? I met Elise when we were doing Women in Music. Colette DeVoe and I got together in December and organized a 8-week concert series at Governor's, all women. And we hosted an open stage in the final show. And Nigel Kearns sent me Elise's contact, so I was like, "Come on out, like it'd be great." And yeah, I was blown away when she sang.
Yeah,
It's awesome to just kind of like it was like one of the last real like relationship building shows I was at, where it was like kind of made more contacts and met more people. And yeah, it was awesome. She's like it's kind of like one of the last people I saw sing was her. So it's wicked to just kind of be able to see her every Monday.
yeah, yeah. No, I love listening to her, and we always carry on that like she plays some deadly '90s tunes. I love every
Yeah,
'90s tune that
yeah,
came
she
out, so
does.
she always throws a good one in there.
That's amazing.
So,
My friends in Hamilton, they play in this band called Born in the '80s, and they do crazy covers. Like there's a guitar and like all this stuff, and they do like a full Weezer album, and they do like full Dr. Dre. Like it's
that's
really crazy.
amazing.
Yeah,
You
it's
hear
so
that? Dylan
super
DeVoe's
cool.
on here right now. You said you know good job. You sound good. But you hear that, Dylan? She just said a guitar.
A guitar.
A guitar. You got to get one of them on your Thursday night guitar shows.
Yeah.
That's that's the level of epic you need to shoot for there, my son. You got to get a guitar on there.
We can find him one. I bet
Oh, I'm
you
sure we can
Joe
find
Costello
someone.
will have one.
What's that?
I bet you Joe Costello will have one. He's got quite the. I want to see his gear hoard. I really do. If he's listening, please invite me over when this is all over. I want to see what you got.
You just never know what someone has in their back
Oh
closet, right?
man, I know. Especially like I paid $20 for this at a flea market 15 years ago or whatever, right? And that's like some crazy like trainer reissue insane thing. So
Yeah.
cool.
Wow, it's cool. Like we
Yeah.
were talking about in the green room about, you don't know where sounds come from.
Yeah.
And we were talking about Steven Tyler with Sweet Emotion, the maraca sound and the actual recording of Sweet Emotion is a sugar package because they
Yeah.
didn't have a maraca. So like you just never know where that weird sound that you hear in a song came from. It could be something simple or it could be
Totally. It makes
something.
me think of like the Garbage Night series. They use like a craft dinner box, right? That's like
Yeah.
their like you can like anything's an instrument kind of thing. It's
Yep.
so like because craft dinner box sounds wicked.
Yeah.
So it's super cool.
And you get to eat it when you're done.
Yeah, I bought a box the other day. $3. Crazy.
Crazy.
$3.
Yeah, they're getting out of control with this.
Yeah.
It's like I understand that like there's trucking problems, but come on, Kraft is Canada. Like
Yeah.
it's in the same country. Like they're not coming across the border. Come
And
on
it's
with that
not
stuff.
even cheese.
No, that's right. It's powder. Come on now. Don't be ripping me off with that Kraft dinner stuff.
Yeah.
And you can't substitute Kraft dinner. It has to be Kraft dinner. Like,
Oh yeah. They got all
yeah.
kinds of flavors now though, and the add-ins. Like we were a ground beef and craft dinner house. I don't know what you were, but
Well, yeah, no, I was like, if the ground beef went in it, it was with like macaroni and tomato soup.
oh
Oh yeah, just gold. I'll still make it. And my kids would be like, oh, my kids are like, mm-mm. I'm like, I'll eat the whole pot by myself and not even think twice about it.
And half a bottle of Parmesan cheese.
Yeah, absolutely. And not even question it. And they're like, I don't know how you're eating that. I'm like, whatever. It's delicious.
Yeah,
Like, you have no
don't
idea.
have to.
This was a staple growing up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, it's, It's crazy this time that we live in right now, but thankfully we have music and we have internet and we can do cool things like this. And
Yeah.
we can reconnect
Thanks for
and
having me.
chat.
This was
Yeah,
really
no, it was
sweet.
cool. It was cool because
Yeah.
I got to reach out to you and say, hey, you want to come on the show and we can catch up after 20 years and
Yeah, I
not
think I was
see.
being generous with the 20 years, to be honest.
Well, well, you said you left when you were 18.
I was 18, but like we would have stopped. Like, yeah, like I was probably like 10. Yeah, I would
Yeah,
say so. I'm 32 now. So it was like, yeah, 22 years or
22
so.
years. Yeah, both that. Well, yeah, yeah, they're both that. They're thereabouts.
Yeah.
So yeah, we haven't seen each other in a little while.
We're doing some growing.
Well, yeah, we have. Yeah, absolutely. I still I could still pick your brother out in a crowd though, like a
Oh,
thousand
yeah.
miles away.
He
Your
hasn't
brother has
changed
not
at
changed his
all.
looks one bit. He's just got a little bit taller.
It's
That's
crazy.
and your dad. I still recognize your dad.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
It's funny since we've been home. Like, there's people. He ran this man he knows named Fudgy, but he ran into him the other day and like slammed on the brakes like James. It's so great.
Yeah.
It's like yeah, there's no denying him for sure.
Yeah. No, no, you're a very distinctive person.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you got one more, two more? What do you?
Yeah, I'll play my piano song here for you, and
All
then
right.
yeah, see how it goes.
All right. Well,
Okay,
this
cool.
this one's for you. You're going to tickle the ivories for us here again, folks. Live from Cape Breton, Nova Scotia, Canada. Miss Molly Babbin.
We could leave the Christmas lights up till January. This is our place. We make the rules. And there's a dazzling haze, a mysterious way about you, dear. Have I known you 20 seconds or 20 years? Can I go where you go? Can we always be this close forever and ever? And take me out, take me home. You're my lover. We could let our friends crash in the living room. This is our place. We make a call. And I'm highly suspicious that everyone that sees you wants you. I loved you 3 summers now, but I want them all. Can I go where you go? Can we always be this close forever and ever? And take me out, take me home. You're my lover. Ladies and gentlemen, please will you stand with every guitar string scar on my hand. I take this magnetic force of a man to be mine. Lover, and my heart's been borrowed and yours has been blue. All's well that ends well to end up with you. Swear to be over dramatic and true to mine. Lover, and you'll say all your dirtiest jokes for me. And at every table, I'll save you a seat. Lover, can I go where you go? Can we always be this close forever and ever? And take me out, take me home. You're my darling, you're my honey, you're my lover.
You do a way better version than Taylor Swift.
Oh, thank you.
Just that's my personal opinion.
Thank you.
Like I said, that song comes on the radio, and I'm like, I want to sing along, but I want to turn it off at the same time. I hate this. Like I said to you, I love the lyric, but I hate the voice.
Such a sweet little,
Yeah,
like,
it's just a nice little ballad, right? It's really good. Yeah.
And some like nice lines that like you felt before,
Yeah, absolutely. Elise wants to know if you can get back together at Governor's and have a ladies' jam.
Yes. Yeah, you know what? It's funny. I did kind of want to talk about this. Like we booked the 8 original, and then we did the concert series, and then we actually booked like 8 more. It was amazing. Like I had like a traditional night with the Beaton sisters and Beverly McLean on the piano. They were gonna come out like Easter weekend, and we had some people like Alaska was coming from Halifax. Like it was the 8 weeks was like looking really awesome. And yeah, it was, they were scheduled to start April 1st. So like kind of every Sunday night, like as these shows were supposed to be happening, it was like, this is the worst. So
Yeah.
I considered doing some like live shows with the women in music. And if things continue, I think that is the route that will go, just because it is a really awesome experience to like empower women who would normally have not had the confidence to get up on the stage. So if I could continue doing that and getting women out there that don't normally play or just haven't had it's really nice that it creates like kind of our space. It's like this female space. And yeah, if we could do that electronically, I'd like to get there. But yeah,
I think maybe we could work on a women in music night here on Ripple Effects on the Monday Night Jams. Cool. I think we can bring Elise back on. I don't think she'd complain about that show. And Abby Mullendore was phenomenal.
Yeah, she was wicked.
Yeah, so I have you. Maybe we can squeeze a couple more ladies
I had
in
like
here.
A list of 40 names. Like we did our research in the beginning, and we like found a lot of women that like either.
Well, Elise is already on board. She already says yeah. Like so, maybe we'll look at booking that a little bit down the road here, and we'll do a women in music night. We'll come up with a theme and a plan, and we'll put you all on the screen. We can host 6 people at one time on this show.
Oh, really?
So yeah,
that's wicked.
So yeah, maybe we'll start working on that. Me and you will have a conversation after the show, and we'll see what we can start putting together for it. Okay. It was kind of a thought in my head, anyways. I have a few. I'm trying to do one specialty show a month, at least one. Right. I started with the 420 show, and then I did the hip show last month.
That was awesome.
Yeah, the hip show was a blast.
All this stuff, it's so great. The hip was awesome.
Yeah, and we go back to Andre Vedapon, how he's just like everything. He's just learning everything. We went through the list, and I messaged Eddie Cummings and Brent Collins first because they let me be part of a hip tribute before. So I let them have the first
Gotta
pick in
return the
it.
favor, yeah.
Yeah, well, I felt it right that good karma. So I let them have first pick, and they picked their tunes, and then I went through the list of people, and it was like, nope, it's already gone. Nope, it's already gone. Like everybody wanting to do kind of the same song. So
Right.
Andre picked Ahead by a Century, but someone else did, and then he went, I was like, somebody else did it, and then they backed out, and I was like, you asked for it next, so like it's yours. And he's like, okay, cool. What else do you want to hear? And I'm like, you're closing the show. It'd be cool if you played like Grace, like Grace 2 or like something like really more powerful. And he's like, well, I don't know it, but I can learn it. And the next day he sent me a video of him saying, and I was like, how do you do that?
Yeah.
How do you do that? I can't even figure out how to like hold a guitar right. But like, you can go and learn a whole
I know
hour
some
doing like
people
that.
it's like sickening, or it's
Yeah.
like that's just not fair.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's cool. But no, I got a few more specialty shows planned and in the works in my head, and I've already discussed some stuff with artists and that. So it'd be cool to start bringing them to this platform. God knows we don't know when live music's going to happen again, but
Yeah.
even if live music does happen again, Monday nights are a pretty relaxing night to sit down and chat and do
Yeah.
just this. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so great.
Yeah. I'd like to read a comment there right quick. Actually, I'll put it on the screen for you. Um, he's been dubbed by multiple guests on this show, and I say the same thing. I fanboy over this guy all the time. But you got a comment there from Justin Vallis, who's like the
Ah,
nicest guy in rock and roll.
he is.
Uh, what you are doing is awesome, and adding youth has made a huge impact on my daughter. So I thank you. So
Oh
that's right
man.
from Justin Vallis himself. I just want to make sure to
That
highlight that.
girl has inspired more people. Have you ever heard Dustin's
Oh,
daughter, Ava?
she
Like,
actually Justin did a show with me a while back, and while he was singing, I was like, man, I swear to God, I can hear Ava singing. And sure enough, she
was
sang
she?
harmonies in the background. She wouldn't come on camera, but she sang harmonies in the back. That
Oh
girl is
man,
talented, man. Oh
it's
man,
crazy.
yeah, it's cool.
It's
If
so crazy.
Yeah, she has unbelievable talent, and if she gets her father's songwriting abilities,
What she has, like some of her original songs, it's like that's just not like she must have just connected to something else because she's just so beyond her years. It's crazy. Like
yeah,
we were all just kind of like when she was performing because she did the piano night and she sang these songs that she had written, and everyone was just in the room like, what? Like I want to write songs like that. Like how do I get there? She was just
yeah.
yeah, it was so incredible.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's cool. And it's great to see the next generation coming up already.
Oh man, they're gonna kick our butts. Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
We'll have more experience, and we'll be able to
Yeah.
tell them what to do and what not to do. But their songwriting and stuff will
Right.
just be
And they'll pretend to
amazing.
listen. Yeah.
Well, yeah, yeah, cool. Well, thanks so much for coming on the show, Molly. I had a
Yeah,
blast
it's
sitting down
awesome.
chatting with you. It was really cool to let you have your first Molly Babbin show live
Yeah.
on the internet. That
Thank
was
you
even
so
more
much.
exciting. I was glad you told me that when we first came on. It was your first one, so thank you for
Yeah.
letting me be a part of it.
Oh, thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, so viewers, next Monday night, I already have my guest lined up. Next Monday night will be none other than Mike Fagan, who is
Woo.
another guy that has divulged with me that during COVID he has rhymed off a few new tunes that he will be debuting next week on the Monday Night Jam. Nobody's heard them,
Yeah.
nobody's seen them. So next Monday night in the Monday Night Jam, we have Mike Fagan coming on to do his thing, play us some killer tunes, and release some tunes that nobody's heard. So until next Monday night, have a good night, folks. Stay safe. Be kind to one another. Good night.